With all of the uncertainty in the world right now, more and more people are considering moving abroad, especially retirees. Cuenca, Ecuador is an incredible choice, but choosing the wrong visa could cost you.
Then you want to lose the visa, yeah?
Yeah, okay. In this video, we sit down with a professional
Put your savings for 2 years, which is 46,000 right now.
who breaks down everything you need to know about retirement, digital nomad, professional, and investment visas. Some people want to come over here with their spouse or their children or their mother. How long does the visa process take from basically start to finish? So you can do it right and avoid wasting time and money. Your customers apply from their home country, or do they do it mostly in person here? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric from Living Abroad with Eric, or formerly Generic Expats. I have a fresh new guest, a very intelligent and bright person that's going to give us a lot of information that all of you are interested in understanding about moving to a particular country that's quite the hot topic. It's been the hot topic for a while, and it continues to be a great place to move to up to today, and I'm sure far beyond in the future. So let's get to know her. What is your name?
Betsy, nice to meet you.
Where are we right now?
We are in Parque Paraíso in Cuenca.
In Cuenca. So we were in Cuenca, Ecuador, an expat hotspot. And how long have you been living here?
Around 8 years.
8 years. Where do you work currently?
I'm working in Expat Law Group.
Expat Law Group. Okay.
Exact.
So do you specialize in like doing these types of applications and documents for foreigners?
Yeah, we specialize in working for visas for foreigners.
Betsy, tell us, what are the most common visa options for retirees, for expats, and digital nomads coming here to Ecuador?
The most common visas options is the retirement visa, the digital nomad visa, and investment visa actually. The three of them is the most famous visas, and they're pretty easy to get.
Okay, let's talk about the retiree visa. What is the amount of money that is necessary in retirement income to come down here?
Right now in Ecuador, the minimum wage is $460, and they ask for 3 minimum salaries from Ecuador, which means is $1,380 per month.
A little bit higher than what I heard from some other people, so it's great to get the real stats from you. Most people said around 1,000, which isn't wrong, but it's higher than that.
Exactly.
And how about the digital nomad visa? What types of incomes do the digital nomads need to get for this visa?
The minimum income for the digital nomad visa is actually $1,380, which is again the 3 basic salaries here in Ecuador.
Right.
And the difference is with this visa, if you have a job, you have to show the income every month. But if you have your own company, then you have to show your bank statements and your company is registered in your home country.
The other option you mentioned is the investment visa. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, the investment visa, you have 2 options as well. You can open a bank account here and put your savings or your money there for 2 years, which is 46,000 right now during the time of your visa, which is 2 years, the temporary residency visa. And the other option is make an investment in a house or make a business, starting a business here, and the minimum in that case will be $47,500.
So 47,000 is the minimum for the house and business, and then the first option you said 47,000 is for the depositing into a bank account.
46,000 for depositing in the bank account.
1,000 less.
1,000 less, yeah.
Kind of a strange difference in that number. Yeah, a little bit less for the deposit. And that needs to be put into the bank account within 2 years of the temporary visa?
Yeah, exactly. Because the bank gonna give you a special document, you have to show that for your visa application.
With the investment banking option, you are supposed to put this 46,000 into the bank. Is it right away or within the first 2 years?
It's right away, and then you can touch the money for the 2 years. If you wanna renew your visa, then you have to renew exactly the same amount in the bank for another 2 years. Or you can change your visa for another type. But for the 2 years, you cannot touch that money.
So after the 2 years, are people allowed to change from the temporary visa to the permanent visa?
If they meet the whole requirements. Because if you leave the country for more than 90 days, you cannot apply for the permanent one.
More than 90 days per year?
Per year.
Okay. In summary, if you leave for more than 3 months in this 2-year period of the temporary visa, you won't be allowed to apply for the permanent visa. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay, so you need to basically show that you're involved and really wanting to stay here. Is that right?
Exactly. And then if you get the permanent residency visa, you can't leave the country for more than 180 days.
What are the main rules that people should follow so that they don't have their visas canceled on them?
The first and the main thing is don't leave the country for more than 180 days per year, the first 2 years.
After spending the 2 years with the permanent visa here and spending more than half the year here, what should people avoid so that their visa is not canceled?
If you leave the country for more than 5 years, your visa will be canceled.
So if you leave and don't come back, they'll come back and with a big surprise, right? Oh, by the way, goodbye, your visa, you were gone for too long, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so you need to come back randomly, spend a couple months or 6 months or whatever within those 5-year periods, or else within that 5-year period, or else people will get a big surprise coming back,
surprise,
right?
and then you're gonna lose the visa, yeah.
Yeah, okay. How long does the visa process take from basically start to finish when, for example, doing the retirement visa with your company?
Okay, usually if you bring the whole bunch of documents already and they are apostilled and everything is good, we can start the translations, notarizations here in Ecuador, and then from the moment of the translations to the application is about 2 weeks. Once we have the application done, then we have to wait for the approval, which means it can be, 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Now the government have a new system. It's an online system, and it can be 2 months. So we have to pick up which one is better for the person.
So in general, it's around 2 months to have the full process finished for the visa?
Yeah.
Is that for all the visas that we talked about, the retirement, digital nomad, and investment?
No. Actually, the faster one is the retirement visa and digital nomad visa. If you want a professional visa, it can take around 5 months because you first have to register your degree here in Ecuador. It can take around 3 months, and then we can apply for the visa.
What's the professional visa?
If you have a degree outside, then you have to bring all the documents.
So when you're talking about is wanting to work in Ecuador?
No, it's a different one.
Yeah.
Professional visa, you don't need to work here in Ecuador, actually. You can bring your documents as a professional and apply for the professional visa, but you don't need to work at all.
And who is this professional visa ideal for? Who are the main people that apply for this?
If you don't have a retirement, you're young, and your income is less than $1,380. It's the most famous visa for young people who have a degree.
Okay, so young people that aren't digital nomads, or maybe they are, but they earn less than
Exactly.
that amount. So that would be the young professional visa, basically?
Sí.
Okay, interesting. When talking about the retirement visa, there must be some documents that you will ask these clients, these people that are looking to get their visas done with your company. What are these documents that people will need to send in to you?
They have to send us the retirement letter or social security letter showing the income per month. This income have to be the minimum, again, is $1,380 per month. And you have to show the FBI background checks and state's police report. Cleans. So you can apply for that visa. It's very easy.
Do the majority of your customers apply from their home country, or do they do it mostly in person here?
Mostly, they start the process there to have all the requirements in order to come to Ecuador. And then we can finish the process here in person. They can be in person with us, or I can be there with a power of attorney.
Is it easier for them to start back home or to start here? Which is a better suggestion?
The best suggestion is start everything 6 months before you're moving to Ecuador, so you can have the whole bunch of documents in order.
Okay, 6 months before coming to Ecuador, because getting the apostles, getting the stamps can be done abroad, but it's more expensive, more complicated, probably a lot faster and easier back home, isn't it?
And even the FBI.
FBI
You
report, the criminal background check. Right.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. The best way to go about it is to start at home, back in their home country.
Yeah, that's the best option. You will have time to spend all your attention in every document and check everything. If something is wrong, you will have the time to make it again.
Right, and getting some of the stamps, the apostle,
The apostle.
the FBI check, right, the criminal background check, easier done there than while you're abroad, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So good suggestion for anyone thinking about doing this process. Ecuador is actually quite renowned for being a very good place for retirement and for retirees from America, from Canada. And from what I understand, there's a lot of benefits that they get living here. Can you talk about a couple of the benefits that happen here?
Yeah, usually is you can have discounts in the bus and tranvías, which is tranvía, I'm talking about Cuenca, okay?
For people that don't speak Spanish, the tranvía in Spanish is tram, so the train that follows the Earth's surface.
Exactly. And you can have discounts at supermarkets. Even if you are going to restaurants, they have a few restaurants here in Cuenca, which is so famous. So you have the discount if you show your ID from Ecuador.
Let's talk a bit more about dependents, because some people want to come over here with perhaps their spouse or their children or their mother or something. So how does the dependent situation work out with the retirement visa?
With the retirement visa, since the minimum income is $1,380, then you will add for each dependent $250 at your bank statements.
So this is to say that there's a $250 per month on top of the 1,380. Okay, so that would be about 1,620 or so for this visa with one dependent. And is there a maximum amount of dependents, or it just needs to be 250 per dependent?
No, if you have 5 children, one spouse, then they can apply for dependent visa. But you have to show that income. You have that income, okay, then you can allow how many people you want, your mom, your dad, everybody.
Okay. And is this the same for the digital nomad visa and the other visas, the investment visa?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same amount, $250 per dependent.
Above the minimum amount?
Above the minimum amount.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if the professional visa, the minimum amount is $460, the income, and then you have to add the $250.
Okay. That's good to know for anyone wanting to come with relatives. This is pretty simple and not super high-priced procedure about getting that done. Do a lot of your customers, do they bring over dependents? Is that a common thing?
Yeah, it's so common. Usually they bring the spouses, so you have to be sure you want to apply like a dependent, because you need a special documents like marriage certificate or birth certificate for children's.
Okay, so actually showing that they're part of your family is necessary as well?
It's so necessary.
Okay.
If you don't show that, you can apply.
Okay, so for a spouse, you need to show the marriage certificate, and for the mother or children, the birth certificate. What are the most common maybe struggles or complications that happen when applying for these visas? Let's start with maybe a digital nomad.
The big problem in that is when they don't check contracts, and these contracts have to be so clear. They have to show your income and actually you work abroad. You can't work for any part of the world, so they have to be so clear in the contract.
It has to be very clear. You can work anywhere, and if it doesn't say that, then they won't be able to get the visa. Okay, and let's talk about retirees. What is one of the main difficulties or complications when doing this visa process?
When they show the retirement letter and the name don't match exactly the name like the passport. If you have a third name, another extra name, or they change something and it don't match, they don't want to accept your letter. So it means you don't can apply for the retirement visa. When
people come here on a tourist visa, is that something that kind of creates complications also?
Many people just start the process while they are tourists in Ecuador. And getting all the documentation, it can take around 3 or 4 months from abroad, plus all the time in here in translations and notarization.
It is because the tourist visa here is actually a little bit more complicated than other countries. For example, there are countries like Nicaragua and Central America where you can stay 90 days, you can get a 90-day extension, and then leave the country and then come back 90 days, and then another 90-day extension. And you can do that virtually unlimited amounts of times, whereas Ecuador doesn't allow that. Right now, my 90-day visa is expiring in about 2 weeks. I'm going to leave, and I can't even apply for an extension when I want to. Like, there's a very strict limit where you have to apply for the extension right away within the first 90 days after that first visa expires, or else you lose it. When she mentions getting the documents done here, well, this tourist visa is not one of the most relaxed and easiest to deal with. So that's a very good point you bring up, is that if you come here and you're at the 90 days, or you're at your 150 days and you have 30 days left and you're starting the process or finishing, maybe you can't finish it before it expires.
Exactly.
And you have to leave, and then you have to wait for the year anniversary when you first arrived to come back to legally be here. You can apply from abroad, right?
You can apply from abroad, but it can be a little bit complicated. Right. It depends on the case, but you can apply online, and we actually work like that too.
What are the main problems or situations in which people have their visa denied? You mentioned something about the criminal background check.
Yeah, if you have a history record there, maybe it's a percentage your visa gonna be denied, and then you can apply in another time showing it's clean, you resolve that in your home country, or if they make an interview for you, they can have the decision, but it will be a percentage.
Gotcha. So in general, if the obviously if the offense is not ridiculous, I mean, if you have like a murder charge, you're not going to go anywhere. No. But if you have some small offense that you can maybe be interviewed and talk about, or have it removed, then that's something that might be a possibility for denying it, but you can show again a clean record after, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
When it comes to the retirement visas, there are certain visas that don't have the documents. Do they sometimes get rejected as well, get denied?
Well, they give you 10 days when you apply for the visa. They check the whole bunch of documents, and if you're missing something, or you need to change something or prove anything else, then you have 10 days to show up with this new document. If you don't show this new document or extra document, then you're not gonna have the visa. Okay,
so there's another area in which the government asks you, hey, give us what we need in this amount of time, and that won't make you get denied if you give it in that amount of time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I got you. Well, this is all very straightforward and very good news, and I'm really glad to get it all from a super professional like yourself, Betsy. Betsy, what again is the company you work for?
Expat Law Group.
Expat Law Group. And where can people find information about your company and the services you provide?
We have a website, and actually you can have a free consultation, 50 minutes call, and we can evaluate your case with one of our specialists.
Yeah, and what is the name of the website?
It's expatlawgroup.com.
Do you have a Facebook group or any social media?
We have a Facebook group where if you have any question, it's Expat Law Group Q&A, and we can answer all your questions actually. And the Facebook page is Expat Law Group.
Expat Law Group and Expat Law Group Q&A.
Q&A.
All right, well, perfect. Thank you so much, Betsy.